Shaw suddenly spotted a strange light at the axis of the world. There was still a smell of burning all around. Little did they know, danger was approaching. A huge Lai Zilong saw him as prey, and Zhao fled in desperation. But there was also a dangerous interception ahead. Relying on his survival instinct, Xiao Yiro rode back to his feet. But the monster was getting closer and closer. Suddenly, a large amount of viscous liquid took control of the beetle. Then, Li Zilong dove down and grabbed the beetle. Only then did Xiao Er escape disaster. It turned out that at the end of the previous episode, the elderly Xiao Er actually contacted his younger self through the radio, but he concealed his identity. At this time, in 1962, Shaw had just arrived at the center of the world. He thought this radio was the base's control center. Shaw nervously reported his encounter with the monster. Old Shaw recalled the scene of his first time entering that world. He suddenly had a bold new plan. They currently don't know the movements of Titan X. But if the young Shaw now equips a tracker on the Titan X, can the real world track the location of Titan X? To accomplish this plan, Old Shawer and Li Miu began to take things step by step through the radio, guided young Shaw in disassembling complex circuit boards inside the warehouse. Shaw was inside the cramped cabin. Accurately extract the Yangji from the integrated circuit according to the instructions, and connect them to the attitude indicator wire. Shaw was full of doubt about this move, not understanding how it could get her out. Lao Xiao'er told him gravely that they needed a giant beast to open the crack. This was to find him a ride home. At this moment, Kentaro was packing his luggage, preparing to leave and explain to Xiaomei. He received an invitation from an acquaintance. He had to go to Thailand. Xiaomei tried to ask for details, the sword, but Taro suddenly lost control of his emotions. He was tired. Everyone is controlling his life. I'm tired. He was asked to be responsible for his family and the imperial organization. He only wanted to make decisions himself. Xiaomei gave him a complicated look, then turned and left. But in the corridor, two mysterious men in suits blocked their way and forcibly took her away. Xiaomei was captured by the Emperor organization and brought back to the ship. Because Xiaomei's equipment had already caused Titan X to deviate from its original migration route, they needed Xiaomei's code to figure out what impact it had on the giant beast. Meanwhile, Kentaro had already arrived in Thailand. The person he wanted to meet was the daughter of the founder of Apex Company. But in fact, she is the top adopted daughter, the founder. Although he is one of the world's top tycoons, he still struggles with infertility. Even the world's top IVF experts are helpless, so they adopted him. But within a year of adoption, the two had a child.
K-pop side of Access Mundiande is Kentaro who? I hate Apex just as much as you hate Monarch. They all want to change the world. I want to create a new one. Beauty can't do it alone.
The woman actually had an extremely outrageous plan. She wanted to turn back time to before the San Francisco Godzilla incident, turning our gaze back to the world's axis from the past. In the mist, Shaw unexpectedly discovers a dilapidated camp. Old Xiao's expression changed drastically upon hearing the news. He firmly ordered Xiao AR to stay away from that camp. But Xiao Er simply wouldn't listen. He shouted Keiko's name deep in the mountains, desperate and agitated. He firmly believed Keiko was still alive. Old Xiao tried to calm him down and in a moment of urgency blurted out. He wasn't the control center. Shaw sensed something was wrong. He was horrified to find that the voice on the walkie-talkie was exactly the same as his own. Under intense questioning, Old Xiao finally confessed that he was the elderly version of himself. Young Shaw completely broke down. He could not accept the reality. He then excitedly stated, since Keiko is still alive, he must change the past to save him. Old Shower warned him sternly. If she intervenes now, she might change Keiko. The original future has made everything uncontrollable. Huizi no longer needed to intervene blindly in rescue. It may push her away from the path of salvation when she was young. Shaw ultimately chose to compromise amid pain and struggle. Meanwhile, Kate and Keiko are studying complex waveform textures. Keiko excitedly pointed out the overlapping textures stacked on the visual wave device. This is exactly the resonant frequency of the song of the giant beast. Huizi analyzed that the giant beast had deviated from its migration route and was now lost, and Kate is very likely the key to finding him and sending him back to the world's axis. Pierce delved deeper, flipping through photos and handwritten notes in old notebooks. In local legends, there is a kind of demon that lures victims into darkness. The companion took out a huge sketch of a sea monster and several old photos of village women. It is explained that these women describe the devil's voice as a deep throat vibration. If these women could understand, what kind of connection is that song conveying? Maybe you'll find Titan X Kate and Keiko at a Japanese-style wooden pavilion. Kate believes the ancient well is a channel connecting the song of the giant beast. Determined to go down the well to find answers, Keiko strongly stopped her because he had made similar mistakes before and regretted them for life. But Kate's eyes were firm as she encouraged Keiko. Be brave facing Kate. the rope wrapped around her waist, slowly sliding down her bottomless neck. However, just as he was about to reach the bottom, the rope above suddenly snapped. Meanwhile, young Xiao had already found her as instructed, that rocky mountain emitting a faint blue glow. Old Xiao told him, "This is Titan X's Jian Xiao, who takes out an ice draft and smashes through the rock with force." It revealed the black folds inside, resembling the skin of a creature. He took the tracker glowing red, stuffed tightly into the glowing crack. At the very moment the installation was complete, the rock walls began to shake violently and peel off. The giant beast awakened, its massive living form rising upward. Old Shaw guided him over the walkie-talkie toward a forked tree. That was where the rift opened. He could use it to return home. At the final moment when communication was about to be lost, Old Shao's eyes glistened with tears, affectionately entrusting her past self. "Take good care of Kiko and Taishi's children." Then, communication was completely cut off, and Old Shao sat alone atop a desolate mountain until everything was destined. Kate groped in the darkness at the bottom of the well. Fortunately, he did not die. He shouted to Kiko at the well mouth to let her know she was safe and discovered a tunnel that might lead to the sea. Following the tunnel, Kate finally escaped the predicament and returned to the tidal flats by the sea. He explained to the still-shaken Hui that the sensation below the well was very clear. Those women went down the well just to listen to the song of the giant beast. Kate firmly believes the giant beast is neither lost nor dangerous. It just needs human help. All the clues, finally, on Dr. Li Mu's tablet, showing a strong red signal, moving toward Australia. In the Emperor Organization's monitoring room, staff nervously reported to the higher-ups. They received an extremely unusual signal. It was actually the signal from the first step into the world, as axial vehicle in 1962. The screen shows Australian waters. The dynamic coordinate signal appears as red pulses. Movement speed exceeds 40 knots. The system finally confirmed that this was the Titanx they had been searching for. Meanwhile, Titanx is swimming rapidly underwater. Immediately after, the sea beast near the desert shore suddenly broke through the water, and then it stirred up a tremendous wave.